everybody and welcome to our kitchen. Today we are gonna make a Persian bread called Barbari. It's a flat bread, and as usual I have measured up what we need. For 4 bread you will need about 670 grams of white flour, 50 grams of finely grounded rye flour, 2 small spoons of salt, 20 grams of dry yeast, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and also 5 deciliters of water, 40 degrees. So I am just gonna put the flour aside, and we are going, and also the salt, and we're going to make a yeast starter. So what you do then, you put all of the sugar inside of the water, and then you also put the yeast, make it a stir, and let it stay here for about 5 or 10 minutes. The yeast is gonna start bubble, then it's ready to use. So now you can see that the yeast starter is bubbling. So now we are gonna pour everything into the white flour and mix it. Also the salt. I'm just gonna use my hand to mix it. Like this, and now I'm gonna make a hole in the flour like this, and I'm gonna put the olive oil into the yeast, and then just have it a stir, and I'm gonna pour all of the fluid into the flour like this, and then just gonna mix it to a nice dough with your hand. If you feel that you have a little bit too much fluid, then you're just gonna add some more white flour. So now you're just gonna work the dough for about 5 or 10 minutes. Work it really good. Also you can add a little bit more flour, and when you have worked it thoroughly, then just put it aside and to rest for about 2 hours. So while the dough is resting, we are gonna make and prepare the sauce that we are gonna spread over the bread before we put them inside the oven. It's very important that this sauce gets to cool completely down before you put it on the bread. So I have 2 cups of water, and I also added 2 tablespoons of olive oil into the water. And then I have 1 tablespoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. No, 1 teaspoon of salt, of course, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and also 2 tablespoons of white flour. So you're just gonna put everything inside the casserole and mix it and heat it, make it to a boil, and then cool it down. I'm gonna show you. So now I have mixed all the ingredients into the water. I have given it a boil, and when it's finished or to be set aside for cooling, it's gonna look like this. The sauce is going to get a little bit thicker, so you have to stir it while it's cooling off. So just set it aside while you're waiting for the Barbari to get finished. So the dough has been resting for 2 hours, and as you can see, it's really moist and good looking. So I'm just gonna drag off the plastic, and also be sure to get all the dough off of the plastic. And just pour it on the bench. And then you can also add a little bit of flour. You need to divide the dough into 4 pieces, but first you have to work it for some minutes, 5 minutes. So now I have baked out 4 small doughs. Each of them are 300 grams. I have put them on the scale to be sure that they are the same size. So I have put them here on the bench with some flour underneath and also over. So you have to cover the dough with plastic and also this one, and let it rest for another 2 hours. So now the dough has been resting for 2 hours more, as you can see. So we are going to take one of them and make a bread. So you have to work it for some minutes to press the air out, and then I'm going to show you how you shape the bread. So you will need to work the dough like this, and you also need to use some flour so it doesn't stick to the bench. So just clap it. And I prefer to use my hands because Barbari is made only by hands, to make it real flat. So I'm gonna finish one now, and I'll show you how big it has to be when it's enough. So now it's gotten a little bit bigger, so you have to clap it and stretch it and make it bigger with your hands. So what you're going to do next, you want to take a baking paper and you want to transfer the bread onto the baking paper. So you can stretch it a little bit more and also clap it a little bit more to make it a little bit bigger. Like this. And now when you have done this with all 4 of the doughs, it's gonna rest for about 1 to 1.5 hours. So now the bread has been rested for 1.5 hours, and in the meantime I have preheated the oven on 200 degrees. So now I'm gonna show you how you decorate the bread. So you just use your fingertips to make some lines on the bread. Like this. And here's the sauce that we made earlier. It has now cooled completely down, and as you can see it's really thick. So we are gonna use this sauce and we are gonna put it on the bread. So just cover it good all over the bread. So now I have put the sauce on, so I'm going to use the end of a knife and do like this. Like this, and then we are gonna put some sesame seeds all over the bread. Just spread it out like this. Not too much. If you don't like sesame seeds, then you don't have to use it. It's of course what you prefer. And also, if you want to have some black poppy seeds, you can use that, or you can just use chia seeds like I'm using now. I didn't have black poppy seeds, so I just used chia. So now it's ready to go inside the oven. The key to succeed with homemade Barbari bread is that you let the bread rest for many hours. It's not difficult to make, but it's very important that you let the bread rest. So now I'm going to put it in the oven. When it's finished, I'll show you. So now the Barbari bread is finished. I have made all of the 4 breads in the oven. Very nice bread, as you can see, soft. Now we are gonna cut them in. They have been in the oven for 18 minutes, 200 degrees. If you prefer them to be longer, of course, that's your choice. You can now see the bread. Really fresh. So if you're gonna serve the bread, it's recommended that you serve it with feta cheese, walnuts, and some green leaf vegetables, and warm tea. It's also very delicious with some fresh honey. I hope you enjoyed the movie, and please subscribe to my channel, share with all of your friends, and also press the notification button for more exciting videos. Thank you so much.